Hello, my name is Nicola Goldsmith. I'm the Clinical Ambassador for Performance Health, and I'm here to help you work out the right material for the right splint. So I'm going to show you now how to use Aquaplast-T, which is the treated version of Aquaplast. And I'm going to dry heat it rather than wet heat it, but you can do whichever you want. When you dry heat, you'll get a really good bond. So I'm just going to use the heat gun, slowly from the base. Okay, so when you've heated that, you fold over the edge at the end and make a nice little cut to make it a beautiful sealed edge. And then you're going to ask your patient to just relax their hand in position. You're going to come into mid position here, not with the fingers in extension, not with inflection, but just in mid range, and bring this along the lateral border of the index finger and curl around. Bring it back onto itself, and because I've dry heated it, it's going to stick really well to itself. I'm cutting it off at about the level of the ring finger, and now just reinforcing on this edge, on the radial edge, and cutting it away. And now I can just mold the material, and you can see that, as with all Aquaplasts, it will really mold beautifully. So I can bring it into the palm, I can roll it here in that first web space, and it's really holding position beautifully. Again, I might ask my patient to just move through range so I can be sure that I'm approximately mid-range here. And if you've got a patient that is on the deviated, don't follow the patient with this. It needs to be really at the lateral radial side, where the finger would be if it was in correct alignment. Then what we're going to do is we're going to allow the material to slowly go off, and the great thing with Aquaplast is that they go translucent when you're working with them, so I can see when I'm beginning to get some rigidity back into the splint, because it's returning back to a white colour. And it would be the same with the watercolours, which is the coloured version of Aquaplast-T. So all the watercolours are treated as well. So when it starts to hold its own position, I'm just going to cut it over the back of the hand at approximately the level of the ring finger and take the splint off. Small little cuts out of the material at this point, about 1/2 centimetre out of both sides. Now I actually wrote up this splint in a journal, definitely last century, sometime in the 1990s. So this is how I've done that. And I'm just going to put a piece of Velcro hook, which is going to stick to this side, on here. And then again, a really lovely thing with Aquaplast is if I now dry heat this again, it will heat very quickly a second time, but you can push the loop Velcro into the Aquaplast, and that will make a permanent bond. So again, you can cut out the need for needing hook Velcro. So if I can have your hand back again, now this opens up beautifully, and it's going to attach over the top here. I'm just going to cut away that strap. So here we have a really nice fitting splint. Now I'm going to again use the situation that this material heats very quickly and I can get a permanent bond with Velcro. So I've pre-made a strap, and these can just live in your department. Literally a few seconds, and you'll be able to make a permanent bond straight into the material. So now if I have my patient back, it needs to open like this, because if you've got MCP joint swelling because of rheumatoid arthritis, it's super important that they're not going to pull this over the fingers. So here's our first radial repositioning. And then actually, if I'm making this on a patient, I would actually sew these in. So I wouldn't use the self-adhesive because it will actually come away, but I would just sew these on. There's one. Here's the next. And here's the next. And I think these fit so much better than the off-the-shelf ones, which often don't have the rigidity from the radial border. So ultimately, they're only as good as on the deviation of the radial side. Chop. 1, 2, and 3, and there's your finished splint. And you should find that your patient can fully flex and extend. And this is where Aquaplast just works so nicely because it's rigid. You can see through it. You can attach to it. So on a very small splint, you're not having multiple layers of Velcro to fit with it.